Hi, bestie. Welcome back to Girl House.
We've got a very exciting episode coming up on a very exciting week.
Yeah.
The topic, just to spoil it all, is
Hangxiety. Basically, we had you submit what you wanted us to talk about tonight. And if you don't follow Girl House Pod, by the way, on Instagram, go follow it because every week we'll put question boxes and ask like questions or what you guys want to talk about, etc., etc. Anyway,
sometimes our anxiety even shines through on Girl House Pod.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to keep up aside from Fridays, we are there. But I mean, anxiety is, I think, a topic we're both very passionate about. We have suffered through and through. So actually, like today when we were in the car trying to think of, because we made like a list each on our phones of like some of the worst anxiety moments, we realized like we can't even remember them because they're so bad. We usually just have to like block them out and drink them away until we feel better about it.
Push through them.
But anxiety is, yeah.
I don't think there's a single person on this planet that drinks and hasn't had anxiety.
No, there are. Several.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think it's mostly men, but there's been so many times in my life where I've brought up anxiety and like people just don't know what I'm talking about. It's mostly been with men, but I've had this several times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I get anxiety. And then people will be like, what is anxiety? Which, by the way, if you don't know what anxiety is, it's when you are so hungover and so anxious. Mm-hmm. And it's like a scientific thing because your brain is so depleted of all these, like, I can't say the science behind it, but I've seen before, but your brain's so depleted, it's like anxious and like it accelerates like your heart rate and everything, which like just makes you anxious.
And sometimes not even an awful things happen and you still have anxiety when you're hungover. I always
have anxiety when there's not.
So it has to be scientific.
The only time I've ever maybe been hungover and not had anxiety is when I was like so passionately in love.
Or like when you're like really young.
Yeah. But
I don't even think I knew what anxiety was before college.
And
oh my God, I didn't drink before college. What am I saying?
Good one. And the bestie who submitted this like asked tips on like how to deal with anxiety, and like she was saying like sometimes she doesn't even want to go out because she's so nervous of having anxiety in the morning, and that I really, really, really feel. I'm sure like
I do too. I actually have a friend who often texts me that they're going to stop drinking because their anxiety is so bad.
Some of my examples today, I was going to stop drinking, check myself into rehab, and delete all social media. Like,
so that's what you have to look forward to in this episode. Before our updates.
Well, I thought this was such a great thing because we'll obviously share like some tips on how we deal with anxiety, though they're not necessarily. I don't really have any good. I mean, we'll get to that.
If we had the cure.
But whenever I have anxiety, I always look up like on TikTok or YouTube, like embarrassing story times with drinking. Like that's like everything. Whenever I feel uncomfortable about anything, I try to find like other people talking about it. And there's not that much on anxiety that I've found. So hopefully this can help you if you're searching. Perhaps you're a new listener and you feel really uncomfortable about something you did this weekend. I'm sure we can top it. So
welcome, by the way, if you are.
But I guess we'll get into updates quickly. I think maybe you should start because you have a very exciting weekend.
I have only been anticipating this weekend for a year and a half.
Has it really been a year and a half?
Technically, my cousin Sally got the tickets to the Eras Tour Miami in either July or August. It was when she was spending the summer.
Oh wow! I didn't
on Nantucket with my mom, and then my mom told me at some point between then and Christmas, because that was my Christmas gift. She surprised me by giving me one of the tickets. So I guess technically maybe I've been like a year, but it's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long
time coming. Anyway, sorry, I'm so excited I can barely talk about it. But I woke up this morning with a stuffy nose, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? This cannot happen. So I just tried, and Callie's not too happy about it. Right. I just tried this crazy thing so I looked up like remedies on TikTok because I have a stuffy nose, and I've also, this probably isn't correlated, but I have gone to Pilates every day this week, and I never do that many in a row. So I feel like I've been pushing my body too. But basically I looked up this remedy and for like instantly getting over sickness, and they said to basically eat 2 cloves of garlic. I'm not sure if you've ever done it. I never have. So
I think most people, like I said, to interrupt, I'd just be scared to do this, but I've seen people do it where they just swallow it, like a pill.
Yeah, that scares me.
Yeah, me too.
Even like digesting, like that just really scares me.
I've seen people on TikTok who do that like every morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I did it wrong because it was
No, you
crazy.
did it fine. I'm just saying I think there's like...
Well, in my head, I'm like, okay, whatever. It doesn't seem that bad. I'll just like chew the 2 cloves of garlic and move on.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it literally burned.
Yeah.
Like my whole mouth was on fire.
Burns.
Yeah, I just wasn't like thinking about it like that. Anyway, whatever. I hope it works. Knock on wood.
And now my whole house like reeks of garlic somehow. Like
I don't know how.
You chewing the garlic like permeated it around the whole house. It's crazy.
It's so wild. And it's wild because I do apologize for that. It's also wild though because I had like growing up, my Nana always made roasted vegetables, including roasted garlic, and I would always have it.
Roasted garlic is so diff.
I know.
Same with pickled garlic. Like,
yeah,
so
I
diff.
know. It's just like pretty crazy that it had that
reaction. It's kind of like saying like, oh, I don't like zucchini because you took a bite out of it raw.
Okay, fair.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, very different, but it was shocking. And so my plans tonight, basically I have about, can't do the math right now, but 24 and some hours. My flight is on Friday morning and we're filming on Wednesday. Oh my gosh, when you're listening, I'll be on my way to Miami.
So true.
I'm
so jealous you're going to Miami.
As I've said a million times, it's not like I'm really going to Miami.
Yeah.
Like I am, but well, that's a lie. Now I actually am doing some other things outside the stadium.
A bunch of fun things in Miami.
Should I just tell my itinerary?
Yeah, tell your itinerary.
So if you're watching on YouTube, I look like a ghost right now. My plan, because I'm sick and just very pale, and my plan tonight, after likely we'll watch Tell Me Lies. We've been so into Tell Me Lies.
Quick interjection. Like, I have a problem where I'll say I don't like a TV show, and I don't, like, I'm scared to even say this because I know one day you're going to hold this so against me and it's going to piss me the hell off. But, like, just please don't. I've already told you once. It was hard for me to admit this. And, like...
Are you talking to me?
Yes. I know you're going to hold this against. Like, I can just feel it already. This is not applied to every single TV show. Mm-hmm. Some TV shows I genuinely don't like. But there have been many a time where I claim I don't like a TV show. And it's actually just because I didn't watch it. Because I was on my phone. And then I just didn't want to go back. That's how I felt about Tell Me Lies. But
it's very brave of you to share.
I just know Celia, and I know there's going to be a TV show she wants to watch that I genuinely don't have any interest in watching, and she's going to hold this against me for the rest of my life. So that really sucks. But Tell Me Lies is so good. We just finished season 1. You already watched it.
Season 1. And I had actually forgotten a lot. I highly recommend rewatching.
I can't believe the ending. No spoilers, but there's so many things in the ending I can't believe. I cannot, and I can really relate the whole experience to an experience I had, but I can't get into the episode to spoil it. But yeah, I think after this episode, I'm hoping we'll watch one episode together, but if not, I'm gonna have to watch it by myself in bed.
The FOMO of that like makes me obviously have to watch. So obviously I'll be watching. But yeah, basically I should be sleeping because I cannot be sick. But before I go to bed, likely yes, we'll be watching Tell Me Lies season 2 episode 1, and then I'm gonna put on Self Tanner, which I'm a little nervous about this because I am taking NyQuil as well. So here's my dilemma: all that I have left is a 2-hour, and obviously I'm gonna sleep in it a long time, but I have done that before, and also Jamie always does that with a 2-hour just to make it like darker, I guess. But I am nervous about it.
I've never
because
done
there's
that.
not much you can do to reverse self-tanning.
Yeah.
But anyway, shameless plug. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Celia Bay. But I will not look ghostly, and you'll be able to see my Eras Tour outfit, and I am so excited.
Really quick interruption.
Ran over to show Callie my outfit
it looks so good, but I need to interrupt really quickly to make a quick interruption. I forgot. This also shameless plug for us both. I realized, so we just got signed by a network officially this week, which is really exciting, but I did realize, like, when I was like sending analytics and stuff, I just realized that our likes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts have not gone up in a bit. And I totally understand if you don't want to give us a like, but if by chance you could find it in your heart to, while you're listening to this episode or after, if you're driving, please don't do it now. But if you just have a moment where you could take a pause and think, Maybe, I want to give, but only if you want to. It's no pressure. But if you want to, just click the like button. And if you really wanted to go like out of the realm and like just go so like just like you really wanted to, you could leave a comment too. But like that's no pressure. But it's just the likes haven't grown for a while, and I'd love to see them grow.
Yeah, and if I were listening to this, I would feel comfortable liking it, but maybe not leaving a comment.
Same.
So maybe just like a comment of like the pink heart with the sparkle emoji.
Oh my gosh, so true. Yeah.
And then we'll know you listen to the
Wait,
app.
but maybe switch up the heart color though, because it will look suspicious if everyone leaves a pink sparkle.
Maybe just an emoji, like
whatever
you don't
feels
have to write
right.
some crazy comment, because I would never feel comfortable.
Me neither.
Writing.
I
comment.
would.
I mean, actually, that's such a lie. Of course, I would.
Yeah.
I comment all the time on certain things.
Yeah.
But no pressure, regardless.
Well,
it's not like you have to write some crazy thing.
And no pressure at all. You don't have to do anything.
Okay, so basically to round out my weekend, yes, I am going to the Eras Tour night 2. I am so excited. Finally, I have everything. Oh, there's one thing I'm waiting for my outfit. It's actually supposed to be delivered by 9 p.m., so that's a little suspicious. I'll have to go check. But I got the gold freckles that Taylor, it's this company called Phase It. She wore them to the most recent Chiefs game, and then they like blew up. And I've seen so many TikToks about the two founders. It's so cute. Like their company has gone insane. So yeah, I'm gonna put gold freckles as long as they come, and that might give you a hint as to what era I'll be going for. But anyway, the concert's on Saturday. I get in Friday. I'm going with my 2 cousins and one of their friends, and then the next day I'm basically going to be so depressed I won't even know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
But we're going to this Swiftie pop-up, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know, this place that my cousin found. So thank you, Sally. But it has like all these cute Eras inspired drinks. And then we're going to a restaurant that I've never been to. Casadona.
Yeah.
It's new apparently, but my friend Emily, if you're listening, gave me the rec, and it's right on the water and near the Swiftie pop-up, so it all works out. And then coming back Monday, and that is the weekend. And I'm so happy for so many reasons. I just pray that I don't actually get sick.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say you were praying some whatever you said was gonna be released Rep TV.
Don't even get me started on the Rep TV allegations. I can't get into it because
it would take up the whole episode.
Yeah. But something crazy likely will happen, because
I hope for your sake it does, because you just deserve it. I mean,
thank you.
But I also fear it's the only thing we'll talk about for the next 2-3 years. But I'm going to be really happy for you.
The way, I think I've told this before, the story of when I was clouding on set.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Celia has this Taylor Swift terminology.
Oh, did I tell you? I know I told you, but
did.
Basically, we were on set, and it was the London. I think I already told this on the podcast, so I'll make it really quick. But it was the last leg of the European tour in London, and people were basically clowning for Rep TV to be released for so many reasons. Again, I won't get into it. But basically, I had it like a live stream playing on set, and of course, there's stylist, photographer, hair and makeup, model, and they're all just cracking up because all of a sudden, like, people that don't watch the live streams don't realize how excited people get, and the girl just starts screaming, "Oh my God!" And we're all on set, and it was just blasting off my phone.
Yeah.
It was just funny. Anyway,
it's funny.
Moving on. But yeah, it should be a great weekend, and anyone else going, maybe I'll see you there.
Oh, so fun.
Could trade a friendship bracelet.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Cute. I don't really have as many exciting updates. I remember, last time I talked to you, I was telling you about how, we had a whole episode on rejection, and I talked to my therapist after that episode, after we recorded, and she gave some fire advice, but I'm trying to remember what she said. But basically, turns out my whole issue with rejection, and perhaps this is your issue too, so I just thought I would share, is that I'm constantly looking to be validated, and I constantly take it so personally. But my therapist gave me some advice that at the time I was like, this is awesome, but I'm gonna have to discuss this with her tomorrow, because now I'm like, you know what? So we were talking about Surfer Boy, and she was like, I was explaining to her, like, it's really frustrating because I look like a freak, and it's not even anything to do with him because I don't even know him. And she made a joke that I should make his podcast title his name comma, it's not about you. I would love to drop that episode, but he would be so scared. He would be like, he'd get a restraining order. But anyway, I was telling her, like, I feel really embarrassed about, like, the way I texted him. It was, like, slightly jokey, but I definitely, like, over texted him. I gave her, like, details of, I mean, you know the details. We all know the details.
Yeah.
Anyway, you actually know more than she does because I felt uncomfortable completely. I need to get more comfortable. I need to tell her everything.
If you're new here, just watch any episode from Summer.
Yeah. But
pretty much.
I basically over texted a man who I didn't know because I fantasized him too much in my head. And so, and then I told her, like, I just feel so weird about it. Like, I feel like such a creep all the time. And I feel really embarrassed. And then, like, I also told her about, like, the weekend 2-3 weekends ago when that guy, I thought he ran out of the bar for me. But basically what she said is that, like, these people are not rejecting me because they don't know me. Like, Surfer Boy, I almost just said his name, but Surfer Boy doesn't know me. Mm-hmm. We've only hung out 2 times. Not even. We've hung out 1.5 times. So it's not that he's rejecting me for me because he doesn't even know me. Same with this guy at the bar. Not rejecting me for me. They're rejecting me for my behavior. And, like,
still a tough pill to swallow, to be honest.
That, honestly, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. But now I'm like, I'm going to have to talk to her about that because I'm like, well, yeah, they're not rejecting me for me, but my behavior. And then it was just a lot to hear a professional say that I came on too strong. Because, like, she literally, like, that's her job. And, yeah, she was like, yeah, I think he came on a little too strong. But at least, like, he rejected me for my behavior, not for who I am.
But I do think the right person might not exist.
And she told that to me as well. But she also told me I should be maybe more careful in the future talking about guys on the podcast before we're, like, dating. But that I told
segue into our episode.
Yeah, I told her that's that's just not something I can do. I have to tell you everything, and if that jeopardizes a man, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So
or they're just not the right person.
That's what I mean. Like, the right person, it won't be an issue. So I've gotta chat.
And you didn't say anything that wasn't true ever.
No, I've never said anything that's not
like,
true.
It's kind of like, last Taylor Swift reference, I promise, but it's kind of like when an interview asks her, like, oh, are you worried about writing these songs about the guys? And she's like, well, I wouldn't write the songs about them if they hadn't done it.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not really worried about it.
Yeah.
Just like,
and, like, no one should be worried unless they're really an asshole. Like, I only said great things about Surfer Boy.
True.
But that leads me to, like, my next segue. But I don't even know if I feel now. I'm like, I probably am hanging out with a man this weekend, but I'm not sure. Please, let's keep it chill. Sorry. I'm being super chill. I don't know this man.
Whoa.
We're gonna hang out, and we were gonna hang out. Well, we had loosely discussed hanging out last weekend, as I told you, but we didn't. But he seems very, very nice, and that's something that I don't typically go for. But I still am, like, not sure if it's, like, a friend hang or, like, a not friend hang, as I told you last time. So I'm gonna find out, but I'm leaning towards, like, it's not a friend hang, and I actually yeah, but that's as much as I'm dying to say more, but I'm gonna chill.
You'll hear about it next week.
I really just don't have anything else to say.
Yeah,
genuinely,
I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah.
So you'll be on the date while I'm at the concert.
I'm not sure if it's a date.
TBD. Anyway, I'm excited to hear about it.
Truly. But anyway, I guess we'll get into, do I have any other updates? Oh, my friend Viv is coming tomorrow. She's visiting for the weekend. I'm so excited. And we're going to go to the Butcher's Daughter for breakfast, which I've never been a Butcher's Daughter girl. Not like that I'm not, but I haven't been interested. But the one in Venice, every single time I walk by it, I'm so jealous of people sitting outside there. So I'm really excited to do that. And yeah, I guess, I mean, like, yeah, we'll get into the Hangxiety. Every single time we do updates, we, like, try to make them fast, and then it's 20 minutes later.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Yeah, it's just a lot to discuss with you every time.
We miss you in a week. I mean,
but
a lot goes down.
Oh, that was not a fart. That's my pop song. What's this called? My Octo Buddy. But okay, let's get into. I mean, first I will just say, if you're listening to this, on a weekend or on a weekday, no judgment, but if you're listening to this at some point during your week and you feel really embarrassed about something you did, I will say this, and this is one thing that really helps me, like, embarrassment is a mindset. You can either choose, and this is really, I mean,
okay, Britta.
No, but it's so true. It's hard. This is a hard pill to swallow, especially as a girl who's chronically embarrassed, but like, you can choose to be, like, it's literally how you decide to look at your actions the night before. Maybe they weren't great. Maybe they were pretty bad. Unless you did something like really like seriously. Let's not say questionable. I'm saying like illegal.
Right.
Not even like illegal, like
just
like,
not right.
Super morally wrong.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, maybe reflect on that. But if it's just something where you were just drunk and you're like, oh God, look, you don't have to be embarrassed. You can choose to laugh about it. And I think that's one of the things that does help me when I have anxiety is to laugh about it. Like, when I wake up in the morning and I want to die, I can choose to cringe all day or I can choose to laugh. And I think it's better to just choose laughter, and like, it's just not that big of a deal.
Yeah. And the only reason I said, okay, Britta, is because my sister claims she does not get embarrassed.
Yeah, it blows my mind.
And that it's a mindset.
But
I don't think that's always true, though.
Let's just get into it.
All right. You start?
Sure.
Let's start with I'm starting with a chill one. This last
weekend.
I
was not going to start with a chill one.
Then go crazy.
None of mine are chill, unfortunately. Like, literally.
Okay.
This one's pretty extreme, and I feel like I can't even share all the details with you. Just because I literally, like, I haven't...
Oh my gosh, I'm so curious.
I'll share most of the details. This one's like definitely, well, I have two that are like my worst anxiety moments ever where I was like, what the actual fuck? But this one, I always allude to that my freshman year of college ended with me having a bit of a little breakdown situation. If you're watching on YouTube, Celia's nervous. She just like went like that because she has a stuffy nose.
Poor timing.
Yeah. Anyway, I was doing a ton of Coke, a ton of Xanax, drinking. Not a good mixture. And I was also severely depressed. And I basically, long story short, had a night that ended up with actually an ambulance taking me to the college campus hospital. And of course, the dean had to have a discussion with me the next morning. And I wasn't in trouble, but it was a really awkward conversation. And let's just say, like, all my friends saw me going down into the ambulance. And then the next morning, it was just like, I was like just 18 and not in, yeah. Anyway, it was really just honestly the most embarrassing moment of my entire life. Like, walking, because like also on campus, like, I mean, I was taken to the hospital in an ambulance, so I had no choice but to walk back to my dorm through campus.
Oh my gosh.
And it was a really small school, and of course I ran into several friends, like more
That's
like loose friends on the way home that were like, hey, like, heard about your night last night, you good? And I was like, yeah. I just need you to really picture, like, if you're feeling uncomfortable about like having anxiety, talk about anxiety waking up in the hospital and then having to walk home in front of everyone and have the memory of everyone seeing you being taken down in an ambulance. It was just so extreme. And I had such bad anxiety about that situation that I soon left school after, obviously for many other reasons as well. But I would say that's probably, I've never felt more uncomfortable in my entire life than that night. Especially like having to literally talk to the dean.
Wait, so when you were picked up by the ambulance, did you then come to, or were you like aware the whole time?
I was aware the whole time.
Oh my God.
And people like
so bad. Like, it's also really bad if like you just like were blacked out and then woke up and you were in the hospital. But
that's happened to me too. It's another one of my stories.
Oh my God.
But no, it was really bad. Yeah, all my friends watched me get taken down, and like no one, everyone was just like, what the fuck? And obviously everyone talked about it. It was a lot. So that was probably like my worst anxiety I've ever had. But look at me now. I was just thinking, and I will say, I always say that mental breakdown, that was really uncomfortable, and like that led to me being where I am today, because it made me realize like that was a hangxiety. I mean, it was more than just hangxiety, but that was a situation where I was like, holy fuck,
breaking point of view.
I've got to change my ways. And I did. I transferred schools, went pre-law, went to law school, social media, here I am. So sometimes your anxious moments are for the best, but that was
a really extreme one to start us off. Now I feel kind of foolish sharing
it's like I've never felt more uncomfortable. I felt like I had to go. I wasn't even gonna share that one, except, and like you can fill in the blanks. I feel like it's not, I still can't fully go there because it makes me so uncomfortable. But I just was like getting my massage, and I was like, oh, that was actually probably the most embarrassing moment of my entire life. So
yeah.
And it involved drinking and drugs. So.
Yeah. Anxiety, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay, well, mine is a complete juxtaposition, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Very chill, happened last weekend.
Oh,
it's
I love
just
this.
like a little embarrassing, but it's not like extreme.
Honestly, we'd love your take on this, because it's just like,
yeah.
Like, I didn't think it was bad at all. Sorry, go on. But like, I didn't think it was bad at all. I still don't. But when you like...
No, let me tell you what happened, and then I'll tell you like the afterthought of what happened. So basically, my last day at Revolve was Friday. I went out Friday. I messaged my work crush Friday. It's too much.
Well, also,
it's too much.
Let's just discuss. I'm not sure if we told you last time, but do you want to describe the weeks, like how you've acted towards your crush?
I don't want to talk about this too much, only because I know people from work listen. So no, I will not be reading the messages verbatim, but I will paraphrase.
Well, no. You don't have to. I'm asking you to read the message. I'm asking you to. How did you act around him prior to this? So I think that's a really key part to the story to understand.
Basically, it's a non-existent relationship, like even friendship. And again, I'm not going to get into it too much because I quite literally do not know him. But one time I was on a shoot and I thought this person was cute. I really feel like I shouldn't be saying this.
Say whatever you're comfortable with.
But anyway, so followed each other. Every time I saw him, I acted like a child and literally looked away.
That's what I was trying to.
That's all I will say.
I need you to
no indication of
just
me
so
liking
you
him
know, like
IRL.
Before she messaged him, Celia gets really nervous, and when she gets nervous, she acts like she hates them. So she, every single time they're in the same room, she would turn her back and go silent or glare.
One of my friends was like, you could just smile. Yeah. Like it was that bad. Anyway, so I end working there and I messaged them
about an hour after.
Okay. To your also encouragement.
No, I'm still glad you did.
I just was like, whatever, I'm moving. It's just fun. I might as well
kind of like
message.
How 2 weekends ago you convinced me to text Surfer Boy again.
Yeah, it was more so just like a fun in the moment. And of course, like I always felt some sort of energy. Call me delusional. So
I don't think it's delusional.
No,
I still think you're gonna hear from him
either. But I messaged and was like, "Hey, no longer working here, but we should get drinks sometime in Venice because we live nearby. It seems." He then responds, again, I'm not going to say this verbatim, so I don't really know how to paraphrase, but he basically excitedly says yes, and then asks what I'm doing that weekend. And this is where I went wrong. So this was fine.
I don't know.
All of this was fine. Yeah. And then I proceeded to say like what I was doing and then said, but I would love to see you tomorrow. As if he asked. As if he asked. He literally was just saying, what are you up to this week? Like, yes, the messages at the time, like it really was implied. Like he was saying, like, what are you doing?
It was so implied.
Seen, by the way, He's days not ago. I just like when I think of it that way, I would love. I don't even know you. I literally don't know him.
I really think what happened is just like he was busy and didn't respond. But it's a really funny way to twist it and be like, yeah, you said you don't know him. You glare at him at work, and now all of a sudden you'd love to see.
I give him like the cold shoulder. Like it's very active, and I'm going message him the day that I'm done work. It's outrageous. That was my behavior, as your therapist would say. And then for him to like respond immediately, it felt good. It felt very
respond
positive.
Immediately. It took 2 hours.
Okay, that day, sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, don't act like he's, like, I still think he's gonna respond.
Okay, sorry. He responded 2 hours later. And basically,
I'm just saying, like, you're acting like you responded immediately and then immediately didn't respond.
No.
We've got to give him some credit.
He responded that
There's
night
still,
very excitedly.
I still think there's a chance we'll hear
I don't want to because it's just weird at this point and it's so uncomfortable, like, actually. But the whole I would love to see you just what really got me.
Yeah, and you sent that, well, to fit this in with Hangxiety, you sent that while you were drinking.
Oh, yeah. So I sent that when I was drinking. and then the next day, I was, like, reading the messages back, and I'm like, does this sound like I would love to
I
see
guess
him?
guys don't like when you use the word love because
it was just so aggressive for no reason.
I also had a guy ask me
on my behalf
to drinks, and he was like, let's get drinks this week. I said I'd love to, and he never responded.
So yeah, there's your lesson. Also, I just want to put it in perspective. Careful. I saw him at the office on Wednesday, in which we were in a room together, me and my coworker and him, and I gave him the cold shoulder, and like I actively got up. Whatever. I don't need to be describing the scenarios, but it was a lot.
Turned your back to him.
Turned my back to him because I felt so nervous and awkward. And then, so he knew that I was in the office as of that week, and then I posted on my story, and he follows me and saw my story that my last day on set that Thursday. So he knew on Friday that was my last day, and I remember you were like, this was no news to him. Like, so if you really think about it, yeah, it's a little weird that I messaged him the second I could.
Well, I said it shows that you just really respect work and personal life.
Yeah,
boundaries.
Anyway, that's what I was anxious about last weekend. And
yeah,
and Callie was like, oh, how does he know that it was your last day? I'm like, because I posted it on my story. It's my last day at Revolve.
Yeah.
That he saw. Oh. But I know it is a weird one because you might not believe me when I say this, but I swear on my life, like, I really don't care. Yes, it would have been nice. It would have been fun, but I am going home, and it just feels too weird at this point. But it is the whole feeling of rejection and just, like, the wording and coming off so strong when you don't care that much.
At least it was just your behavior, not you.
Yeah. But, like, when you come off so strong and you don't, you know what I mean? It's just so...
Well, that's my whole issue with Surfer Boy. Yeah. I mean, I'll never get over that.
Yeah, it's too much. Anyway, your turn. Right.
This was in high school as well. I had some pretty anxiety-inducing moments in high school, but I think this would be my worst one. So my boyfriend at the time, he had broken up with me, like, pretty soon before prom. I had assumed we would be going together. Then he broke up with me and immediately got a new girlfriend and went, like, Facebook official with them, which in high school, actually, any time, really, it just felt really...
It's really a stab in the back.
I didn't handle it well, so I ended up not going to prom. I instead went and, like, got super drunk with some random guys.
What? Where?
I just, like, not in our town.
Got it.
And
neighboring town.
And
how old were these guys?
I don't probably, like, in their 20s. It was very weird.
Were you the only girl?
This night, yes, I believe so.
Were they your friends?
Yes.
Okay.
They were my...
Just trying to set the scene here. This is all actually kind of news to me.
They were these guys. I'd go to their house when I was having really dark days. I'd go to their house and I'd do drugs there.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I had someone, I guess, drop me off at my ex-boyfriend. He, like, lived in, like, a college house. And he had, like, a house, like, he had some roommates, so he...
Infamous house.
Yeah, it was, like, the big party house. Basically, yeah, I had someone drop me off at his house. And I just, I think there was, like, a couch on his porch. And I just chose to take a nap on his couch.
Mm-hmm. It would have been better if you were in a prom dress.
Would have been so much better. Yeah, I wasn't. And I ended up waking up a few hours later to one of his roommates noticing me on the porch and telling me I should probably go home. In which case I did find my way home. I'm not sure how I must have had to ask my parents to pick me up.
Oh my God.
But I mean, talk about anxiety.
Yes.
I probably didn't feel it in that exact moment, but the next morning, add heartbreak to the anxiety. That was definitely not one of my finest moments.
It's very rough.
So
at least it wasn't him waking you up.
I think I would have preferred that.
Yeah, true. Oh, yeah, the front, almost worse.
It's a lot worse, I think. Yeah.
It's a rough one.
Because, like, it's like bringing other people into the matter.
Yeah, and of course they're going to talk about it. It's just a lot. Yeah.
All right, your turn.
So, the summer right before I moved to LA, I had a bit of a whirlwind romance, if you will, at the end of summer. He knew I was moving to LA, so it was nothing quite serious, but we hung out consecutively for like a couple weeks straight. And basically, he just kept saying like that I needed to meet his parents and he really wanted me to, and I just felt like
I don't think I know this story.
I don't know. You know who it's about though.
Yeah, I know who it's about, but I don't think I know the story.
So basically he kept saying I needed to meet his parents, and I like was really uncomfortable by that fact because it just wasn't I really enjoyed my time with him, but I didn't think it was like a serious thing. Anyway, so finally one night we met the parents before we went to dinner. He actually left me alone with them for like 10 minutes, which is really awkward, but it went very well. And then I remember we left, he picked me up, spun me around, was so happy. Then following day or two, my cousins were actually on island and we met at the brewery, started to drink. Let's just say drinks were all my cousins, drinks were flowing. And then he messaged me right after we had left that he had gotten to the brewery. And so he picked me up and brought me back. So point is, drinks were flowing. And then all of a sudden we all decided to go to, his brother was like house sitting this amazing house. And we had been there a couple times. Like, I kind of thought it would just be the friends. Nope, turns out that his parents show up. I have been drinking all day. And basically, all I know is all of a sudden he's waking me up with dinner.
Oh, yes. I
forgot like, about this. What the hell? He tells me I have been dancing around the kitchen with his mom all night. And then apparently when I hit my limit, I try to go to bed, as Callie knows.
And you get really grumpy about it.
Like, I immediately, if the lights are going out, I am going out.
Yeah.
And I must have known it was time after God knows what I did with his parents. That's just so uncomfortable. I was dancing with his mom and I can't remember any of it. Like, imagine that. Really imagine that. And a second time meeting them, by the way. And then there were a bunch of people over, like everyone from the brewery, like a bunch of people our age and his parents, and everyone was drinking and having this huge cookout, like making so much food. Nope. I find myself to a bedroom, get into bed and fall asleep. And then I'm like, oh my God. Well, what did your parents say? And he was like, well, they were just kind of like, where did Celia go? And I wake up, and by the way, this is like hours later, like, you know, when you already feel hungover and you have so much anxiety, and I didn't want to ask him like all the details because that would make it such a thing. So I'll never know to this day what went down. God. And I just like, every time I think about it, I can't even go there because I cringe. I don't know if it sounds that bad, but it was very cringe.
Terrible.
Especially because like it was such a big thing that he wanted me to meet the parents, and then it was like, this is how I act. Yeah. I literally can't even go there.
Oh, this was a pretty recent event for me. I want to say this guy's name because it's just such like if you knew his name, it's just funny. But no names. Anyway, I was out to dinner at the chateau and I got super drunk there, like really drunk. To the point where I actually broke a wine glass at dinner, which that's just like not an appropriate place to break be the first time a wine glass.
Jelena?
Yeah, I was completely goddamn sober.
I love to bring this up because Callie was actually sober. We had just gotten the glass of wine. Wasn't Sophia there too?
Yeah, my
little cousin was there. And she broke a wine glass.
Yeah.
So then we're like, great.
Oh, it was humiliating.
Like, Sophia's gonna obviously tell your entire family that. It just sounds so much funnier than what it actually was. Anyway.
It was more the restaurant. I felt very uncomfortable because they definitely thought I was like drunk already.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I broke a wine glass that night, and then there's this like really strange couple next to us. Like, I need you to like the only way I can describe this, and I'm not being mean in this way, I'm just really trying to describe them, is two people who like they live in they live in LA and they are doing everything they can to name drop and chase their dreams in like a very skeezy way.
That's the scene, I think.
Yeah, like they're like just so name drop after name drop. I know this person. I did this, and I'm a star.
There are so many people like this in LA is just
and actually, so what happened was I can't believe this, I wouldn't have said anything, but Johnny T was sitting at the table across from us. And I used to always joke when I was younger that like I had a crush on him. It was more of like a joke, genuinely. I don't know, but also like I feel like John Travolta has some like allegations against him now or something. So I'm not saying anything positive about John Travolta.
He's part of like Scientology.
Oh right.
And his son, I don't know the exact facts, but I believe his son died because they refused him medicine because of the Church of Scientology. But there might be other things, and this might not.
All I'm saying is, I don't want to be accused of supporting John Travolta if he's done anything wrong. I'm just saying, as a child, I thought it was funny to joke around. So of course, like that's the one person I'd be like, not the one person, but that's one person I would be starstruck to see. And he was sitting at dinner right across from us.
Yeah, that's pretty iconic.
Now, this guy, I wish I could say his name because it's such an iconic name, but I can't. It's so hard for me to not say it. But anyway, his like date, they had just met, by the way. She was like also just like big, like, well, they were just strange like clout chasers because they were, I don't know how to describe, like I wish I could set the scene more, but they were just like,
try to,
like, I'm not saying this in like a mean way or anything, but like scrounging for any connection to a celebrity. Mm-hmm. Like it's like that's definitely why they moved to LA, is just to
and why they were at Chateau
discuss like all their celebrity encounters, and like just had like really strange vibes. Like it's just like I wonder what they did on their own time, because their whole persona and vibe was just like trying to look like celebrities.
It's a very niche group of people that does actually exist in LA. Yeah. So
and like all they care about is celebrity. Yeah. So his date, she runs up to John Travolta as he's leaving and asks for a photo. And by the way, at this point, because they were table to table, like we started talking to them first like out of intrigue because we were drunk. Mm-hmm. But at this point, by the way, it looks like we are part of their dinner.
Oh God.
And she runs up to Johnny T to go get a photo. And I don't know if she got the photo or not. I think she kept asking him to take it and he wouldn't get up and take it. And then she stormed off because she was so mad that she didn't get the photo with Johnny T. Or if she did, it wasn't him who took it. So she like completely like she left the date. And now at this
point, she left the building.
Yes. Wow. And now at this point he was fuming. He had to go take like some time off, and I'm like kind of just like, I'm finding this whole situation amusing because I'm drunk as hell. But like later on when I look back to the night before, I was sitting at Chateau with like a very strange pair who were harassing John Travolta. That makes me pretty uncomfortable. And it actually only gets worse because then we thought this guy was just so eccentric and funny. We were just so intrigued by him that we invited him to my apartment. This is something I have
danger.
I have a really bad habit of wanting to host after parties.
Yes, that you do.
And I still do. Mm-hmm. And usually it's fine, but this one was weird. And he just kept going on about like all of the things he's achieved. I wish like I could like link his Instagram, because like his Instagram. Wait, let me go to it really quickly and try to see if I can find something to describe him better, because I really want you to like really get the picture. I had to block him on my personal because he scared the shit out of me. But his whole personality, that's what it was. His whole personality is that like he had a moment where Paris Hilton wore one of his things or something, which that's awesome, but it's like it happened. I'm being an asshole. He's completely like so face-tuned, he tries to act like he's better than everyone else all the time.
Only posts at am I okay? Only posts at LA hotspots.
Yeah. I wish, and I'm sounding like an asshole. He's just so, just like imagine like a really, really, this is how I can describe it. Uncanny Valley. He's like giving Uncanny Valley. I bring him back to my apartment with my friend and we play categories for a bit. And then all of a sudden he like insists on just brushing my hair. He like brushed my hair all night long until I fell asleep to him brushing my hair. And then I woke up and had to like be like, okay, we're going to go to bed.
My mom's not going to be able to comprehend this story.
I'm
just thinking about it.
It was just, I definitely did tell this on the podcast a while ago, and I probably remembered more details when it happened, but it was very creepy and just a strange, uncanny valley man whose date harassed John Travolta. I'm surprised he didn't harass me. I don't know, but I'll just say when I woke up in the morning reflecting on my evening, I was feeling pretty goddamn uncomfortable, and I haven't been back to that restaurant since just because I feel really uncomfortable about it. Not that anyone remembers, but I just like
anxious.
Like I feel like that couple would be, if they have a list of people to like watch out for when they come to the restaurant, like they'd be on it, and in association I would be on it too.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's like how extreme it was.
That is a lot. I think I'll just do one more. This one's actually in honor of you because you love this story. You might actually be able to recall it a bit better than me. But one night we were having a night on the town. It all started, I think, at Laurel Hardware.
Oh, I love this story.
It's a kind of weird era of us.
Oh my gosh, when we were hanging out with the boys.
Yes, of course. So we had this group of people that we had met.
Men.
A group of men,
like
if you will.
Serious men.
Yeah, we had met them at Laurel Hardware once, and they were just hilarious and whatever. Somehow, one of them really cared, kind of not the same as this people that you were talking about, but cared about the LA hotspots, if you will.
Yeah.
He loved to go to Delilah.
Oh, yes. So honestly, him and this guy, Mike, no, he would look, he's so like arrogant. He'd probably be like, oh, but like they'd almost.
Really?
No,
that's crazy.
No, they wouldn't.
I don't think so.
But like, yeah, he very much cares about hot spots, to the point where one time he was like, he brought up this restaurant and he was like, you haven't heard of the new West Hollywood hotspot?
Yeah. We were like, no, we haven't.
No.
So anyway, yeah, we used to live like right next to Laurel Hardware, and he was like, you must change, we're going to Delilah. So we ran, this is so extreme, we ran up, changed, came back, and
wait, also this is like a side note too, this is like so embarrassed, cringy, but one time, like when I first moved here, we like went to Laurel Hardware, then we were wearing sweatpants, then we tried to just go to Delilah, and they literally turned us down. They said it was because of dress code, but I also think it went a lot further than that. Oh no, we were wearing jeans. It wasn't dress code. They just didn't want to let us.
They did not fuck with us.
They didn't think we were. It's a really not nice place.
I don't
there.
like that place.
No, I hate that place.
I've never really had a great experience there, but
we've only had 2.
Yeah, and this would be the second. Wait, really?
Yes.
I don't think so. I think more than 2.
I don't think so. But
okay, whatever. Perhaps 2. Basically, we're there. We were actually having a blast.
Yeah, we were having
for
a blast.
A wee bit, and then towards the end of the night, I had drank a bit too much, and boom. I fall. By the way, I'm wearing Callie's heels. I don't know if that's any, like, they weren't mine. I wasn't used to them.
We're the same size.
I know. I just wasn't used to them. Whatever. I fall in front of everyone, and then the bouncer asks if I can please leave. You have to tell your story about getting kicked out after this, because
leave. I think he said you have to leave.
Yeah,
I don't think
luckily
he was
it was
nice
the end of
about
the night.
it.
Like, the lights were literally on. Okay. When Callie first told me I got us kicked out of Delilah, can you imagine the anxiety that I felt? My heart. I could not handle it. And then she goes on to tell more details. No, it was not a great situation. No, I don't ever want to go back. But the lights were on. Everyone was getting ready to go, and I accidentally just took a little slip.
It was more than a little slip.
But you admitted it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I thought we actively all had to leave in the middle of the night because
which actually,
and
speaking
I have a
of
vague memory, like, obviously it hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was another really, really bad night. This was actually one of my most extreme anxieties ever. So one night in Boston, we went to the Grand, and Nelly was performing that night, and we were at someone's table who
owned the Grand. You're like,
And anyway, I was having a really good time drinking, having a blast, and I took a photo. I actually still have the photo. I think it's archived now.
It's like the photo adjacent to Nelly, because obviously it's the owner's.
The table adjacent to Nelly.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. What did I say?
A photo.
Oh, it's the table adjacent to Nelly. Like, we were right there with Nelly.
So I took my phone and I took like a few photos with Nelly in the background. And
which honestly should be acceptable.
Maybe I used flash or something, which is like slightly inappropriate, but either way, I guess it was like a drunk mess and I was taking
just
photos.
Drunk girls.
And they did ask me to leave the table because of my behavior. And so that's like already whatever. So then I'm like, well, I don't really want to be at the Grand anymore. Where should I go? Oh, I'll go to my ex-boyfriend's house.
Also, before we get into this, I appreciate you telling this story because she's telling it because I told my kicked out Delilah.
Yeah.
So I very much so appreciate you telling this story. Only time we've ever been kicked out.
Yeah.
Twice.
So then I think we both Ubered home and I didn't tell you I was going to his house.
This was so shocking for me. No, you're making so much light of this story. This was shocking. We Uber home. We have a magical Uber home, actually. We're not even mad that we got kicked out.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
We're playing
we didn't get kicked out of the Grand, by the way. We just got kicked out of the table.
Yeah.
We could have stayed there if we wanted to.
Yeah, that is true, but we didn't want to. And we were playing What You Say on the way home. Magical ride. We get home and Callie's like, oh, I forgot my jacket in the Uber or something like that. So she had to run back. I'm like, okay, I fall asleep. Little do I know.
I did not just go grab my jacket. I asked the Uber to bring me to my ex's house and I had not spoken to him in a while. This is also an ex that my therapist at the time told me if I ever hung out with him again, she would have to, as a mandated reporter, report it to the police because he was so dangerous. So I shouldn't have been hanging out with him. Anyway, I go to his house. I don't remember. Oh, this was when I was like in my big, I was a jeweler in college and my jewel was out of pods. And so
Can you go to 7-Eleven?
Well, I probably was closed or something.
I would do the same thing.
No, it was open.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah, I could have got
a jewel pod. That's really all
literally, yes, I could have got my own jewel pod, but I didn't want to spend money on jewel pods.
Yeah.
So I just knew he had a jewel and I could use it.
So
that enticed me to go to his apartment. And obviously we hooked up and I woke up in his bed completely nude. And I literally, this has only happened to me a few times where I've woken up and like literally don't know where I am for a second. So I woke up and like I looked around and I realized like I'm not in my apartment, but I'm really drunk still and like I don't even realize there's someone else in the bed with me yet until I hear this voice in my ear go, "Do you regret this yet?" I was like, oh my god,
this story will
I was like, that sounds like my ex. And then I turn around and lo and behold, it is my ex-boyfriend. And then I couldn't, like, I was just so appalled by the situation that I laughed in his face. And then he started to sob and then I didn't know what else to do except just get up and leave. So I left, and that's the last time I ever saw him, except for the times he'd flip me off in the gym.
Quite the crazy scenario and quite the anxiety-inducing scenario.
But the point is, we have all been through severe bouts of anxiety. It is a normal part of life, and unless you did something like seriously morally wrong, where you like were really rude to someone or something, or
don't sweat it.
For the most part, just don't sweat it. We all do really embarrassing things. One time I called this guy that I matched with on Hinge or Tinder, probably Tinder at the time because he was in college. I called him 30 plus times in a row just because I wanted to chat and he never answered. Years later, he actually DM'd me, but like that's really embarrassing. But it's also like I could be embarrassed about that or I could just move on with my life. Who cares?
And what have you chosen to do?
Well, I felt really uncomfortable, but moving on now. You get to create your own goddamn reality. Who the hell cares if you did something embarrassing? Who didn't? And the only reason I feel like I like gave a lot of stories like from a long time ago, but it's because I'm still doing embarrassing things all the time. It's just like I block them out. At this point, I think I'm learning to handle it better, and I'm just like, there's no reason to think about it.
And if you're looking for some exposure therapy, please comment an embarrassing anxiety story that you've had, because I love reading them myself.
I love reading.
Sometimes
there's TikTok like videos where people will like
oh my god, I
post like in the comment section like all of their like embarrassing things.
I love that.
Yeah, it's part of life.
We're just girls.
Drinking's fun. Drink responsibly, but sometimes you do embarrassing things with alcohol.
Yeah,
and I'm sure I'll do something embarrassing this goddamn weekend. I never don't.
Usually, well, same. Hopefully not at Taylor. Oh my God. That just gave me anxiety.
You said you weren't going to drink at Taylor.
I'll probably have like a drink, but I want to be present, very present. But anywho, the good news is if you didn't do anything that's like extremely morally wrong, anxiety really only lasts about 24 hours.
Yeah.
Of course you can have flashbacks, but
yeah,
hang in there. You'll be just A-okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we love you so much, and we will see you next episode.